The Apostle Paul's words in Philippians 2:5, according to the J.B. Phillips translation, read like this: "Let Christ himself be your example as to what your attitude should be." What does that say to believers? How is it we can have the same attitude that Jesus did? After all, he was the Son of God. He was not only God-man with abilities, he had God-given qualities we certainly don't possess. And yet this verse is talking about you and me being compared to the Son of God. Well, consider this. How many jobs do some people lose because of their poor attitude? How many others are passed over from promotion, not only because of poor work, but also because of a poor attitude with those they work with? How many marriages fall apart because of a lack of poor attitude and not being willing to change toward the other? That answer is a person's attitude. It's a choice. Chuck Swindoll writes, "Attitude to me is more important than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It's more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace." And then Swindoll goes on to write, "We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I'm convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% how I react to it," Swindoll says. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude. Dale Carnegie said this about attitude: "It isn't what you have or who you are or where you are or what you're doing that makes you happy or unhappy. It's what you think about. It's your attitude." Martha Washington said, "The greater part of our happiness or misery depends upon our dispositions and attitude, and not upon our circumstances." While another said, "Our life is what our thoughts and attitude make it." And Winston Churchill said, "Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference." According to the dictionary, attitude means an internal position or feeling with regard to something else. On my bookshelves, I have a book written in 1976 titled Uncle Ben's Quote Book. And while the author of this poem is anonymous, it should speak to all of us as to our attitude. It reads like this: "It's a funny thing, but true. The folks you don't like you. I don't know why this should be so, but just the same, I always know that when I'm sour, friends are few, and when I'm friendly, folks are too. I sometimes get up in the morn a-wishing I was never born, and then my family wishes I'd gone some other place too. But then I change my little tune, sing and smile, and then the folks around me sing and smile. I guess it was catching all the while. It's a funny thing, but true. The folks you like sure like you." As outlined in God's Word, Paul then says, your attitude should be the same as was the attitude of Jesus. This is Dale. I bring you greetings and blessings from CRA Ministries International, Goodyear, Arizona.